sending me higher, higher, breakdown time. Plenty sweat, a wailing sun, the energy, don't know where it come from. My head gone mad, and music sending me higher, higher, breakdown time. Music giving me fire, fire, breakdown time. All over town, it's better like this. Spark and loud, you can't resist. You lost control, cause music's sending you higher, higher, breakdown time.
I'm feeling your mind and your body. That's why, you see, I'm super sensational. The spirit of music possesses me entirely, bringing out naturally from within my soul sweet musical harmony from beyond this world. And I make music, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Sweet music. I feel your mind and your body, the sense is music, 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 yeah. Sweet music, yeah. No matter what you say or do, the magic of my music, yeah. Music, 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 yeah. Sweet music. Hey, 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 hey. Music, 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 yeah. Revolution in song is my goal. A rhythm for the young and the old. Pulsating, exciting. Music to jump, music to romp. Anytime or anywhere when my music plays, you got to lend an hand, makes you move and sway. I make music, yeah. Sweet, sweet music. Hey, hey, hey. Feel your mind and your body, the sense is music, 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 yeah. Sweet music. No matter what you say or do, the magic of my music, yeah. Sweet music.
This is the Caribbean digestion. because he has set his love upon me.
Never indeed. Good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martini. Once again, it's time for Talking Points. My name's Sheldon Scott here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. Yeah, let me just let this one play. Yes, indeed. I had to play that one tonight, Yeah, just had to play that one tonight. Good night to everyone. Good night to those of you listening on the YouTube, those of you listening via the Facebook. Hope each and every one of you is having a fabulous night tonight. Again, it is time for Talking Points, and my name is Sheldon Scott. I don't know why. Every time I set up the program these days, my face page is always showing the wrong thing. Even though I've done it correctly, I've put up the correct thing, the face page keeps showing the wrong thing, and I don't know why it's showing Tuesday, and it keeps happening every time now that I do the show, and I made sure before and it was there and it's showing the wrong thing. So some folks are coming on to see the show and they are not seeing the correct thing, and I know for a fact that I put the correct thing there. So I'm wondering now, I'm trying again, Let me see. Let me see if I could sort that out, because some folks, when they see Tuesday, because the Tuesday artwork is showing, they don't come on because it's the Tuesday. Yeah, well, it seems to be okay now. Let me just double check and make sure that that's the correct thing that is showing now. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And for everything there is a season, so man and man must reason.
And I double checked, I triple checked, and then as soon as I stepped away, it changed. Yeah.
Misuse. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease.
Yes, indeed, quite a lot to speak about tonight, eh?
You list the straight.
Yeah, so we ain't sticking any longer. As soon as we reach the magic number, we're getting into our discussions for tonight.
Remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure?
And, oh boy, yeah, let's take that one. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good night. Just move away. Just move away from the noise a bit. You're live. Yeah. Yes, we're hearing you.
You lose your rightful thinking.
But we wasn't taking calls yet too, and we just give you the blind as your call, eh?
Promises we won't say at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
Yeah, we just need to let you all know some of the activities that are happening.
Well, parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know, we'd never know yellow would have treat us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man.
Yes, indeed. So just to let you all know some of what is going on, and that's why I just pulling up my WhatsApp file. You understand? Yeah, what's happening in the place. Nice. So on Sunday, remember it's International Women's Day, and the New National Party Women's Arm, they will be having this activity taking place out there at the Grenada Trade Center starting at 2 p.m. under the theme Give to Gain. Honored guest speaker, the Honorable Jean Augustine, with a special presentation on domestic violence by Lady Anande Trotman Joseph. There'll be various cultural presentations. Local craft will be on sale. All right, so that's taking place at the Grenada Trade Center this Sunday. International Women's Day celebration by the New National Party Women's Arm, and they will be having it under the theme Give to Gain. All right, so that will be taking place this Sunday. I hope you all already organized to go on down to that activity. Nice, beautiful.
The tricking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada. 1,000 Frenchmen can never be wrong, but you hold your yellow conviction strong.
Also, the Flavor King, in connection with the St. George Southeast Constituency branch, they are having their barbecue chicken and pork activity. That's going to be up there at Richmond Hill, taking place on March the 13th from 12 noon. March the 13th, that's next week. When is that? Next week when? Next week Friday or next week Saturday? Let me see. Yeah, let me just double check out, because some of them are to say it right. Next week Friday Friday. Oh, it's Friday. Is that Friday 13th? Okay. Next week, Friday, the 13th, and that will be taking place out there at Richmond Hill. Chicken, $15, pork, $20. And to order, you can call 458-9384. That's 458-9384. And that's for the barbecue that's going on by the St. George Southeast constituency of the New National Party. And that will be taking place next week, Friday, starting at midday. So you can order. I believe they are doing delivery. I think they are doing delivery. So you can call them. So that's the Flavor King in conjunction with the NNP Southeast constituency branch. They are having that activity taking place next week, Friday. All right, nice.
For the heart, politicians sometimes form a crooked badge. After they get the vote, they now sing one note. But here comes Fort Judy and Nancy Payne with $1 million house and brand new car on the scene, while our hungry belly still grumbling. They trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at tea.
Then just want to let you all know about these activities that are coming up. So let me just say, let me cue it and let me play it. Nice. Yeah, let me play it for you all. Nice. So yes. Yeah. And for some reason, I don't know why I ain't that one. I'm supposed to hear the thing. Or why I ain't that? Yeah, how come I ain't hearing it? I'm trying to understand what's going on there. Hey. I'm supposed to hear this thing. Why am I not hearing that, man? Let me see if the next one we go hear it. No, I'm not hearing the next one either. So, oh, I see what's the problem here. Yeah, I got it. Nice. That is the issue there.
B&G Enterprise invites you to a fun-filled Easter egg hunt on Saturday, March 28, 2026 at Aubrey's Supermarket, Westerhall Point Gap, starting time 12 noon. Kids will love the exciting egg hunt, games, musical chairs, face painting, and sweet treats. Plus, the chance to find golden eggs with cash prizes inside. The egg hunt is just $10, so bring the entire family out for an afternoon of kids fun, laughter, and Easter excitement. For more information, call 473-406-1322, 473-449-0369. It's the Easter egg hunt on Saturday, March 28, 2026 at Aubrey's Supermarket, Westerhall Point Gap, 12 noon. Be there.
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500. And our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visually, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
For more information, contact WeNoiseTV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. WeNoiseTV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. WeNoiseTV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
D&G Enterprise invites you to a fun-filled Easter egg hunt on Steam.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yes, so we're back here. I had to run and get the, because the flu is trying its very best to take me. Oh goodness. That's why I'm sweating. So, yeah, the flu is trying its very, very, very best to take me tonight. Folks, we're going to open the phone lines, 1-473-440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Indeed, we do want to hear from you. So give us a call. I know someone was trying to call a little earlier there. You can call back about now. Yeah, let's hear from you. Well, as most of you have probably heard by now, the chairman of the board of the National Lottery Authority has resigned. Mr. William Batiste, I think is his name. Yeah, he's resigned. We've heard quite a lot about Mr. Batiste in the past few months. Yeah, and even before that, we were hearing some stuff. I remember in the New Today publication, they posed some serious questions about his doings at the gravel and concrete. I don't know why gravel and concrete does always come up. Gravel and concrete. A couple of years ago, about 2 years ago or so, yeah, they were writing some articles asking for investigations because he was on the board and all of the purchases in relation to stationery and office supplies, and so the allegation were that was coming from his business, and being on the board, that should not be taking place. So that was the allegation that we were hearing, and we were hearing quite a few things about Mr. Willie Batiste sent it. And then we've been hearing now that he was given an ultimatum: resign or be fired. You're hearing 48 hours, resign within 48 hours, or be fired, and so on. That is what we've been hearing. All of these things we have been hearing in relation to him. I know you may have. I did not get a chance to look at Simon Says. I'm pretty sure that you all got a background history on what took place there on Simon Says. So I doubt I have to go into that tonight. We don't have to be repetitive, right? So I don't have to go into that tonight as to what the allegations against the individual are. But we have to ask ourselves what is taking place all of a sudden with the undue haste that we see, the sudden haste in dealing with different people. We see Miss Kim Taylor suddenly no longer a permanent secretary. Yeah, demoted, fired from being a permanent secretary, probably holds a lower position now within the public service, and this is after bringing her in and having her hold that position in a key government ministry. I dare say one of the most important ministries. If you have three ministries that are the most important ministries in any country, Ministry of Health is one of the three. I wouldn't say if it's number one, I wouldn't say if it's the second or the third, but Ministry of Health definitely is one of the most important ministries, if not the most important ministry in any country, and especially in smaller states like Grenada. That's a very important ministry, and as such, we cannot afford to have situations where we have incompetent people holding briefs in those places. And folks, you're gonna have to give me 1 minute here because I got up to do something, and when I got up to do that, I made one slight error, something I must fix. So let me just deal with that quickly. It wouldn't even take 30 seconds. Just let me deal with that quickly, and I will be right back with you. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is not a ministry that you could play the fool with. So to suddenly move a person who you brought into that ministry with great aplomb, you just move that individual from that ministry. And we know permanent secretaries can be shifted from ministry to ministry. But when you fire a permanent secretary, it says something, huh? It says that person has been found to be so untrustworthy so incompetent, or as, how does the Prime Minister say it? He lost trust in the person, he lost faith, or he says it, he lost trust. It says that something happened that you no longer want to have that person in that position. That you finally realize that the Ministry of Health is an important ministry, because remember, your Minister of Health is the one that has been telling us that nothing happened in the Ministry of Health. Really, from the time NDC came in, that there was no improvement, nothing happened in the Ministry of Health. What you had is you rolling out of different things from under the new National Party. And now you have the problem where they're going to statutarize the General Hospital and various aspects of things that are covered under the Ministry of Health, and maybe just seeing that, hey, you do a party favor there, you hire a party hack, because they used to put on their clothes and come in your activity, you go and you hire them. And now, you found yourself in a pickle that you had to get rid of them. And less than a few days later, we realized that Mr. William Batiste, who we've heard so many accusations against, I could say accusations, other people holding the evidence, but so many accusations against, that you have finally decided that the time has come for him to go. Even though, fairly recently, a number of months ago, you ratified, even with all the accusations that were being made, you ratified his position by placing him back for a further period on the same board that he's accused of doing corrupt acts with. But remember, this is the same Prime Minister that was saying he ain't going and attack his own people because you just make them attack their own people, and NNP does make them go and attack their own people, and they ain't going down there, they ain't doing that. That's the same Prime Minister that was saying them kind of thing. Yeah? Only if I have that one, boy, nah, not that one. It was here, but it ain't here now. Yeah? It's the same Prime Minister that was saying that. That the NDC had a habit of going after their own people, because we know what happened in the last NDC. We know what happened in the last NDC. You had the situation that we had an Attorney General that was accused of certain things, lost their job. You had a senior person, party person. I think at the time they were holding chairman or deputy chairman of the party or some kind of thing like that, or assistant general, some kind of high position within their party. And that person was paraded in handcuffs in Grenville. A key person within the NDC was paraded in handcuffs in Grenville during the last NDC administration. And the present Prime Minister is saying that things like that wrong. Yeah? That things like that wrong, that you shouldn't do them kind of thing. But that is the situation as it was back then. And now, you're having even worse accusations than the individual who was paraded in handcuffs. Much worse than anything he was accused of. Much worse than what the former Attorney General under the last NDC was accused of. He was accused of writing a letter on the AG letterhead to secure release of his son in some case or the other. That's what he was accused of. What you're talking about now is things that involve millions of dollars by government ministers. You have some accusations against government ministers and other senior party officials. So you have serious accusations being made. And at times like this, I wonder how people like Mr. Tillman Thomas could ever face us again to speak about accountability, transparency, anti-corruption and all that sort of thing, if they don't help fix their own house. They ain't fixing their leaky roof, but they want to come and tell you that your bottom rung on your step need fixing. But they ain't fixing their roof, they ain't fixing their window, they ain't fixing their door, but they want to come and tell you about the bottom rung on your step need fixing. These are the people who always talk about accountability and transparency. You hear Mr. Tillman Thomas have anything to say in relation to Mr. William Batiste and what is going on in the National Lottery Authority? Still going on, because you still have other people who are accused still in the National Lottery Authority as of tonight. Me and here they gone. You heard accusations of what was going on in different ministries involving different ministers. You're hearing of statements being made publicly by government ministers in relation to accumulation of wealth. My friends, if you take a look, you could see what is the real transformation, you know. There is transformation taking place here, but is what transformation? So the transformation you will see is take a look at them when they were swearing in back in 2022. And I bet you none of them could fit in the same suit or dress that they were back in 2022. That is the transformation that has taken place. You look at their bank accounts and check what the bank account was looking like in 2022 and check what the bank account looking like now. That is the transformation. You go through the integrity committee and find out how much property they had. Yeah? What they had in 2022 at the time of them being elected. And then come now and find out what is the reality. What do they own now? You would realize very, very seriously that that is the transformation that has taken place when they're talking about transformation. That the transformation that has taken place is that they have enriched and engorged themselves. So the them you know in 2022 is a transform them that you see in 2026. The bank account transform. And it ain't transform for the worse. Because over the years, you know, many politicians, because they're helping people and they're doing things for people, they leave office. And then unless they have a specific trade or they had some business running or so on, sometimes they're in problems. But not these individuals. Illegally so. Corruptly so. They have made sure that they have enriched themselves. Meanwhile, what is your situation between 2022 and now? Are you, the average Grenadian, better off now than you were on the day of election in 2022? Are you better off? Is your bank account looking much nicer? You still have the property you had in 2022? Some people do have the property they had in 2022. Are you in problems with the different financial institutions between 2022 and now? There are people who previously were able to take care of themselves. They were able to pay their bills. And right now, this morning, I had a very disheartening one with a young lady. And she called me because her situation was electricity cut off. She just got a job. She's been searching for a job. She just got one. She just got the hold on and so on. And she's struggling with the child. She's trying her very best with her child, making sure the child go to school and so. And Grenada come and cut her off. Can't pay it. Tonight I'm pretty sure it's scandal they're using. They just cannot pay it. Those are the situations of many people out there right now who have to be peeping out the window every time they hear a vehicle come because they're looking to see if it's Grenada come to cut the current. Or they're looking to see if it's Nawasa come to cut the water. Or they're looking to see if it's a bailiff come to them. Every time they hear a vehicle park up outside the place, they're peeping out and their heart skipping a beat. The anxiety level is high. The blood pressure spiking and the heart beating fast. Because of the economic situation that they are in now. Even today, I was reading a story from a young man in Carriacou and what he has been through over the last couple of years. And people keep sending it to me. People keep sending it to me. You know? And I wonder, let me see if I can pull. Yeah, I could pull it up. I found it. So let me just pull it up here. Yeah? And it's a very interesting story. It's a very interesting story, and I'll read it. For those of you that may be listening via radio, don't worry, Mr. Handsome, I'll go read it for you. I'll go read it. Nice? Yes, man, I'll go read it for you. To whom it may concern, my name is Gary Blair of Pity, Martinique. I'm a young, striving businessman who grew up in a small, lower-income community, raised solely by my mother. Like many young people from my island, I work hard to create opportunities for myself and to contribute positively to my community. In 2022, when the NDC took office, I was fired as a youth officer. Around that same time, I opened a small beach bar and fast food business in Petit Martinique as a way to build a better future for myself and support my family. Unfortunately, Hurricane Beryl destroyed everything. My beach bar was completely wiped out, along with all the equipment and supplies. I also lost my home, which was a 3-bedroom structure built half wall and half board. Despite losing both my business and my home, I remain committed to serving my community during the crisis. I remember seeing you when I went to Petit Martinique myself, when I accompanied the then leader of the opposition, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, and the team, and we came up to Petit Martinique. I remember seeing you, Gary. After the hurricane, I worked as a first responder. I was appointed assistant shelter manager and also served as the shelter's cook, preparing tea, breakfast, and dinner for those seeking refuge. When World Central Kitchen arrived, I assisted with the distribution of food, water, toiletries, and other essential supplies throughout the community. I often traveled on the back of police vehicles or any available working transport to ensure residents received the help they needed daily. Additionally, when the French Marine arrived with shipments of goods, water, gas, and diesel for Petit Martinique, I helped translate and communicate with them to ensure smooth distribution. At one point, I even had to break into the NADMA office to locate essential equipment and VHF radios needed to properly manage the shelter. I was responsible for record keeping, organizing supplies, packing the shelter, and preparing food bags for distribution on scheduled days. I was also one of the individuals who helped create the slogan "Bigger, Better, Stronger," reflecting the spirit of rebuilding our community. For weeks after the hurricane, I slept in the shelter while continuing to assist with recovery efforts. Shortly after the disaster, my mother was placed in a home due to health challenges, and sadly, she passed away 3 weeks later. May she rest in peace. The loss of my home, business, and mother within such a short period took a heavy emotional toll on me, and I struggled with anxiety and depression. For this reason, I traveled to the United Kingdom for 6 months to recover and regain my strength. Upon my return, I received a call from Rise Grenada, a non-governmental organization that generously sponsored the rebuilding of my beach bar. While I'm extremely grateful for their assistance, I still require additional funds to complete payments for the work done and to properly stock the bar. I applied to the Grenada Development Bank for support, as I was informed that grants were available for small businesses affected by the hurricane. Unfortunately, my application was denied 3 times. Despite these challenges, I refuse to give up. My bar is now open and operating again, and it is currently the place where I sleep at night. I remain homeless. My brother sleeps downstairs in what remains of our damaged home and gets wet every time it rains. We were told that no one would be left behind and that we would all receive assistance in rebuilding our homes. However, it has now been over 18 months and I am still waiting. I remain hopeful that my situation will be considered and that I can receive the support needed to fully rebuild my life and continue contributing to the development of my community. Thank you for taking the time to read my story and for any consideration you may give to my situation. And I'll always read those kind of things from people like Gary, who I know is a community individual, who I know he hasn't lied on anything that he has said there. Full truth. Full truth. Soon as they come in, fire him. The same people that say they ain't firing anybody, there's one of the people that they fire. He stay quiet about it, but that's one of the people that they fired. And you see what he is going through now. So when you hear them talking about Petit Martinique is nearly rebuilt, he's sleeping in his shop and his brother sleeping in the remains of the house downstairs underneath that thing. When rainfall, he getting wet. That is his situation right now. And he applies to the Grenada Development Bank, the same one where the chairperson is the treasurer of the NDC, Ms. Andrea St. Bernard. That same Grenada Development Bank that found the money to give to Andy Williams, but can't find the money to give to Gary Blair. You understand how unfair these individuals are? So the treasurer of the NDC is the chairperson of the GDB. This young man who was fired applied 3 times the hurricane level weight level. Grenada received millions from CREF, from other Caribbean territories, from the US, etc. They received millions. Well, we ain't sure if they received the USAID money up to now because the Minister of Finance said he can't remember. He don't know. Yeah? Not he don't remember, he don't know. But we received millions. And to help out this one individual on the most affected island next to Carriacou. Because those were the 2 that were hit heavily within the state of Grenada. He applied to the GDB 3 times and was refused. So the money ain't good for him. Money good for Andy Williams. But money ain't good for Gary Blair, because in their mind, who the hell is Gary Blair? We fire he when we come in. So who is he? So they can't find money to give him. And I mean, it's easy. They could go to the island of Carriacou, the Petit Martinique. They could make a call and they could find out about the individual. And they would know that he does need the assistance. He does need the help. And if a government minister could get help for their business, why a young man that's struggling, that's at a sleep in his shop in Petit Martinique, can't get assistance? Either for his house or his business. Why he can't get assistance? These are the same people. We know why, you know. We know why. We understand why. Yeah? We know why. You want me to play why for you? Yeah, let me play why for you. Let me play why for you.
Understand that friendship, love, and unity comes from interacting and socializing with one another. If I know your son and your daughter, even if you cuss me, I would think about your son and daughter, so I'll hold my tongue. But when I know your family, you're just another number. You're just another statistic, so I'll hold my tongue. But when I know your family, you're just another number. You're just another statistic. But when I know your family, you're just another number. You're just another statistic. But when I know your family, you're just another number. You're just another statistic.
And that's the situation. He ain't no Gary. So he's just another number. He's just another statistic. You heard it from the leader of this country. You heard it from the head of government of Grenada, political leader, the new National Democratic Congress, not the other one, the National Democratic Congress. You heard it from him, and you heard it as well, yeah, from the Prime Minister of Grenada, because that person holds all those portfolios along with several others. Yeah, if he don't know you and you don't know your family, you are just another number. You are just another statistic. Not the NNP saying so. It is the NDC that is saying so. Yeah? It is not the NNP saying so. It is the NDC that is saying so to you. Yeah? And if they know you, you can do what was happening in Lotto for nearly 4 years, with people coming out and providing evidence of what was taking place. And you could stay there and do what you do. Possibly make yourself a multi-millionaire. We don't know, because we know what's going on. Possibly make yourself a multi-millionaire. When members need certain things, they could approach and they could get. And then, when they see it as politically expedient, they give the impression that, and I'm saying this and I know I'm saying this, they give the impression that they are getting rid of you. They give the impression that they are correcting you. They give the impression that they're doing something to you. But let me tell you all something. I'll be impressed when I hear that there is some sort of investigation in relation to the National Lottery Authority, an independent investigation. Not a run come in and say I investigate the matter and it are nothing there. Not the Prime Minister saying I investigate the matter and it are nothing there. When there is a forensic audit of the National Lottery Authority that provides clear information regarding what has happened there over the past few years between 2022 and now under the present board. When a clean and clear audit and an investigation by an independent body is done, and that investigation and audit, etc., is made public, then I'll be satisfied. Not because you just tell somebody go. You could tell them come back the same way you tell them go. You could tell them come out there and you place them somewhere else. All kind of things could happen. Yeah, folks? All kind of things can happen. Yeah, the phone lines are open, you can call.
You now refrain. Yellow, yellow, all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain. You now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell I ring. If we didn't know.
Yeah, folks, I was trying to deal with an issue there because I'm getting some noise coming through my headphones, and I'm not sure if you all are picking it up. Yeah, I'm getting some static coming through, and I'm not sure. It just started up all of a sudden, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. Yeah.
Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land.
Yeah, still not sure where that is coming from, but we can't stop the program for that. Yeah, we have to go through. Nice, yeah.
When you trick us with campaign.
So 14734407377, that is the number for you to get onto the inside. So we need to find out certain things, you know. We need to know why was Mrs. Kim Taylor removed from the Ministry of Health. We know the Ministry of Health has been a massive failure. We know. Yeah, the leadership there, the minister, the permanent secretary, we know that ministry. I mean, the government on a whole has been a failure. But that ministry in essence has been a spectacular failure. Nearly as big a failure as the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Because the Ministry of Youth and Sport, my goodness. If I had to do programs on that, I need a whole week. I had to get Honorable Emlyn Pierre on. I had to get Honorable Nolan Cox on. I had to get Honorable Kate Skeeter, Louis Peters on. I had to get the amount of people I had to get on to talk about the massive failure that is now the Ministry of Youth and Sport. Because when you try to compare, don't even look at the last term of the NNP. We could look at the last term of the NNP, and I could tell you that what the new National Party was able to do in 3 months of coming into office, this NDC government can't do in going on 4 years now when it comes to youth development and sports in this country. Yeah? Whether it is in St. David where you had Brother Oliver Joseph were doing the bathroom and toilets and so on at the different playing fields and the lighting a la suggest and so that this government come and spoil. You had the proper lighting and they come and take off the proper lighting and put on bad lighting in la suggest. So whether it is that, whether it is things such as the building of the National Stadium that the former Minister of Sport under the last NDC was saying that there was no funds for, and that on coming into office, the NNP was able to save that project and save the houses. The same houses that this government come in and play mawet with. Whether it is the fact that in less than 9 months, the new National Party was able to have 4,000 young people who were unemployed. 4,000 of them who were unemployed under the new Imani program, and many of them have gained permanent employment right now. Many of them, they are in different financial institutions, some of them in middle management positions right now. You have some who are nurses. They are the ones dealing with you in some of the healthcare centers and so on around the country. They came in as Imani trainees in that first 4,000. Some are police officers, full police officers right now, but they got their foot in the door through the Imani program. Because they wanted to give the impression that Imani was about putting children to go and work in store. Nonsense. That was not it. So you have many of them who have gained permanent employment, or who have gained training that they can now use to gain permanent employment. They gained all of that through the Imani program. But you have some people out there trying to give the impression that Imani was, Imani this, Imani that, and say all kind of negative things about it. Meanwhile, they can't put a program in place that was better than it. You had the Youth Enterprise Program under the Imani. You know why the Youth Enterprise Program right now, they don't talk about it? Because one, there was a business development center that was refurbished and about to open in Beaton, St. David. They know they can't tell me nothing when I said Beaton, St. David. They know I know what I said. And when I'm talking youth, none of them could come and say I don't know what I'm talking about. In Beaton, St. David, the community center was retrofitted to host a business development center where young people from St. Andrew, young people from St. David and so on could have come to that business development center. And you know what they would have been able to do there? If they had a business idea, the Ministry of Youth would have had people there that could help them develop that from an idea into reality. So they would help them to do a business plan. They would help them to get financing, either through the GDB or through the ministry itself, because the ministry had the funding components and so, or even from a credit union or one of the commercial banks. But they would have helped them to do the business plan. And even when the business started, that they would have offered support in relation to how you do your finances, how you market your business, all of that. A business development center. There was one in St. Mark. Ask the people at St. Mark where the one that was in St. Mark is now. Ask them what has happened to the business development center that was in St. Mark for young people under the Ministry of Youth, under the New National Party. Ask them where it is now. And ask them what happened to the one that was supposed to be in Beaton, St. David. The place was there, it was refurbished. It was not operational yet, but it would have been more than operational now and supplied a lot of assistance to the young people of St. David. Those who still liming on the blocks. Those who doing jobs they really don't want to do. And it ain't paying them what they really supposed to be paid. But they're doing it because that is what they. Meanwhile, they have their dreams and they have their ideas and they have their ability in their heads where they could have gone and started another business. But they can't now because there's no assistance coming from the... In fact, as far as I'm concerned, they should fire those ministers in charge of the Ministry of Youth and Sport right now. They should go. They have no idea what they're doing. They know nothing. They have destroyed a body of work that people like the Honorable Emlyn Pierre has been putting in place since the early 2000s. They've destroyed a body of work that people like Senator Norland Cox, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters, that all of us have come and put in place. These individuals have destroyed it. Now I hear they're talking about youth in agriculture and so on. There was a land bank there that was supposed to be distributed to young farmers and so on. And if they don't know what they're talking about, go and find the manager of the National Stadium now and ask him. Because there's lands there that young people are supposed to get to go and do agriculture. All of that was being rolled out. This government came in and stopped everything. And then they start to rename all kind of thing. Where's the Empower program for young people right now? We're talking about the way that males interact with females and females interact with males and all of that. Where's the Empower program for young men right now? With the personal development aspects of that address things like that. Even the Imani that had its personal development session before these young people went out. Where's that personal development for young people? Where's the opportunity for all those young people who are leaving school? All those young people who have been leaving school over the past couple years. Where are the opportunities for them? But yet they come to you and they say the nonsensical tone. Things happening. Yes, things happening. But not good things. I saw them on the press conference yesterday speaking about the Fort George project. Like if this was a concept of the NDC, like if it's the NDC secure the funding for that project, like if it's the NDC get the architects who had to come during COVID, like if it's them that get the French architects and so on that come for that project, like if really and truly they had anything to do with the project except being in government when the project taking place. Don't let them fool you. They needed something to talk about because you realize who come and talk about it. The MP for the South. And he come and talk at a point in time that people who we've been hearing whispers about was getting their neck chopped on the block. That's when he come and talk. Remember, there were other ministers when they realized what taking place with them, they held press conference too, you know. So don't be surprised who next on the chopping block. It's just like everybody waiting to see which is the next world leader that the US going behind. Because see, January was Maduro, February was the mullahs in Iran and so on. We into March right now, so everybody waiting to see, well, who next? And it's the same thing in Grenada now. If you're dealing with the corrupt ones, the only problem there is if you're removing the corrupt ones from office, you got to remove yourself too. And CBI, if you're removing corrupt ones, you got to remove yourself too. So I don't expect it to go far. I've also heard them speaking about the fishing industry. And I saw on the press conference, I saw some of the fishermen out at PM and so on. Big up, fellas. Yeah. Olivier, big up to all you. Right. Yeah, man. And that's a good initiative where we see some of the fishermen actually becoming involved in helping search for the new markets and so on. But you know, folks, we didn't have to be in this position. We did not have to be in this situation now. This situation could have been dealt with if the people in office had done what they're supposed to do. Either A, get the information to the United States as they requested, or B, negotiate with them to extend your time in the same way that they have extended the time for other countries. You didn't ask for an extension. NNP asked for extension. They got the extension. You were in office during the period of the extension. So who's supposed to deal with it? Not you. They didn't come and close off the fishing during NNP time, you know, because NNP knew who to talk to and how to talk to. It closed off in your time because you did not do your job because, quite frankly, you're incompetent. And secondly, you're incapable. So we didn't expect that you're going to be able to do it. But there are people that voted for you that expect you to be able to do it. There's no surprise on my end. So we find ourselves in this situation now that they are looking at Trinidad and Guyana as the two of the places that they're going to send Grenadian tuna to. We've also seen that they have spoken to Canada. Although looking at the press conference, you realize some of the people in the room never even talk to each other because you have a press conference. And then some of the people that you bring onto the press conference had to operate like reporters and start to ask questions of other people in the room. So it means that you just bring people together to say you're having a press conference. And I appreciate the work of the fishermen and those who have sought the new markets and so on. But we were told last year that they were seeking new markets. The government it is. Now we realize that the fishermen themselves realize government ain't worth it. Let me go and try and find meeting for ourselves. And they have found. But you know the problem there. The NDC, during their time in opposition, spoke of doing fish processing facilities here in Grenada. And when they spoke of doing fish processing facilities here in Grenada, they were speaking of fish burgers and all this kind of thing, right? 2 fish burgers. But at least Grenada is spending millions buying fish for fish to come into Grenada on a yearly basis. That has been so for many, many years. I doubted it at a point in time until I said, well, no, Grenada is an island. What do you mean we buying millions in fish? Nonsense. Then I went and checked it and I had to hush my mouth. Because yes, we are buying millions on a yearly basis. Maybe even more than we make out of fishing, we are buying in fish. So the sardines in the tin, the tuna in the tin, yeah, the tuna steaks and so on, that not coming from local, some people buying it from overseas. Imagine we are yellowfin tuna here and they're buying tuna from overseas. And so, yeah, the smoke herring, the saltfish, and nearly every home in Grenada, except this one, have saltfish in it. Yeah? And especially when you see the government van down in the south of the island making a pass, jogging saltfish. Yeah. Especially when you see that van passing, nearly every home in Grenada have some saltfish in it. But where does that saltfish get? Not coming from here. It's coming from outside of Grenada. The smoked fish, the salted fish, the canned fish. All of that is coming from outside of Grenada. And this government, who is in office now, was speaking of doing canning plants and different things here so that you can have a situation where those are created here. Now, when you're selling it to Trinidad and you're going to sell it to Guyana, just know that that is what they're going and do with it. It's not just going to be for restaurants and so on. Remember, the cost of electricity in Trinidad is miles cheaper than it is in Grenada. Trinidad is an oil producing country. They have natural gas and they have petroleum. They produce gasoline and so on. They are an oil producing nation, and as such, the cost of electricity there is miles lower than the cost of electricity here in Grenada. The same now with Guyana. You think Guyana can afford to send some fishermen into the same fishing grounds that Grenadian fishermen going in and get some of that fish and so on for themselves? But as mentioned by one of the fishermen, probably the largest fishing fleet of any country in the OECS, and maybe even further than that in the region, is here in Grenada. When you check up the boats out of Petit Martinique and Carriacou and those on mainland, that probably the largest fishing fleet you have is from these parts. And due to that, you have the highest output in relation to fish. When Guyana taking it, you know, is that Guyana going and do it? They're going and can it and sell it back to us. Where is the processing plant that they spoke about that they would be doing for Grenada? Where is the fish processing plant that they spoke about and say that it is important to have a fish processing plant in Grenada?
With agriculture. We will undoubtedly recommission the Maribor Agricultural School. We believe we've lost the opportunity to, in fact, make the Maribor Agricultural School the University of Agriculture in Grenada, the OECS, and by extension, the Caribbean. And so we intend to vigorously pursue this, to make the necessary investment in the school, and to link that to our education system throughout the length and breadth of Grenada. So let's talk about agriculture.
And that's just one. Let me get the proper one here now. Yeah, I played the wrong one there. But anyway, all you had to let me know if the Maribor School is now the Agriculture University of the region and so on. Yeah, all you had to let me know that. All you had to let me know
to St. Andrew as well. The second issue is that of fishing. We intend to construct jetties and essential facilities, including lockers, storage, and ice facilities, to the individual fishing villages throughout the length and breadth of St. Andrew.
So, St. Andrew fishermen, tell me if you get jetties. Subbies, Marquee, outside of sargassum, seaweed, and damaging all your boat and making all your itch and damaging all your equipment and all your home and thing, have you all gotten the jetties and the lockers and the ice storage facilities that were promised to you? Let me know.
Know for sure that there are none in Subbies. There are none in Marquee. There is no jetty, there is no storage facilities, there are no ice facilities.
And if that was the situation, then it's still a situation because all didn't do it.
But crucially, nowhere in Grenada is there any fish processing facility. Nowhere in Grenada is there any significant fish storage capacity.
And again, folks, when I say that Guyana and Trinidad are now going to benefit because they will be able to set up that fish processing facility if they don't already have some. I believe there's one plant at least in Trinidad that does that. Now they are going to benefit from being able to use Grenadian tuna to operate their facilities and so on. Meanwhile, Grenada has made no move towards that. Now, under the new National Party, and I need to say this part, under the new National Party, in order for you to set up factories in Grenada, you must get the cost of electricity down. One of the reasons over the years that you've heard talk about setting up factories in Grenada, and we'll set up factory for this and we'll set up factory for that, and the factories have not been able to set up, has been mainly because of the cost of electricity. They have access to good water. They have access to an educated, brilliant population. People who can train and people who are already trained in different areas that can be used to work in those facilities. They have place, they have land to set it up. But the problem has always been electricity. So when the new National Party did what it did in relation to the law for Grenlec, this individual that's talking there was a lawyer defending Grenlec against you, the Grenadian people, because the NNP administration was representing each and every Grenadian, including himself. So he was working against himself. So when the NNP did what it did to get Grenlec back on track, to make sure that you could get the cost of electricity down, it was to get the cost of production in Grenada down, so that if you decide you're setting up a fish processing facility, that it would not cost, let's say, $50,000 in electricity every month. But it might cost 10. It might cost 15 instead of 50. That if that fish processing facility has the ability to generate its own electricity, so they're using solar power, and they generate enough electricity that they don't have to take anything off a Grenlec grid, which is going to drive down their cost of production, which means that they can compete regionally and maybe even internationally when it comes to the cost of what they're producing for and the quality, because we have quality fish. That is the reason that the new National Party did what they did in relation to Grenlec. But this individual continues to this day to make you think that something wrong was being done. When he was talking about producing fish processing plant there, you know how much it would have cost to actually do that? You know how much electricity would have cost and so on if the new National Party did not make the moves it made with Grenlec. And if we don't keep our eyes on Grenlec, and all of a sudden by some magical calculation and mixture, that the majority shares of Grenlec ends up in other people's hands instead of the Grenadian people's hands, we would be back in the same situation again. From 1994 up until when Grenlec changed hands, back to the government of Grenada as majority shareholder, you did not have the ability to control what the price of electricity was. Now you have that ability. Now you could talk about fish processing plant, but for 4 years, this individual sit down there and do nothing about fish processing plant. A fish processing plant, let me hear you, man.
Facility. Nowhere in Grenada is there any significant fish storage capacity. Nowhere in Grenada is there any facility that manufactures and adds value to our fish. Last night in St. David, a citizen made the point that we are exporting high-grade tuna and importing low-grade frozen chicken. And the reality is we're doing so because we, as a nation, have not invested in any fish processing plant or in any fish agro-processing plant. And we feel that the Simoon Industrial Park is an ideal location for us to in fact begin the process of the building and setting up of a fish processing plant.
So let me ask now, where's the hold up? What is the hold up? Simoon move? Simoon gone to the sea? Or he gone to the moon? Simoon move? What is the hold up? Yeah? NNP did its part, it get the price of electricity or put the ability of the government to make sure that the price of electricity could go down or give a fish processing plant the ability to produce fish without being on the national grid. They could set up solar and all kind of thing. What is the hold up? Since you all had the idea, it's a brilliant idea and everything, what's the hold up now? Why is it only now you're starting to talk about fish processing? But then we are still going to lose out because Guyana is producing natural gas and so on. They could set up a place now and the price of electricity going to come down to cents. Cents. And the same situation with Trinidad. Let me finish here, man.
To serve the needs of all of the fishermen, fisherfolk, and the citizens of St. Andrew, and by extension, the citizens of Grenada. So we will be pursuing this vigorously.
If that is pursuing something vigorously, better don't go and run race because it could be like when he bowling. If how he pursuing the fish processing plant in Simoon, if how he pursuing that is vigorously, I hope he don't go and run when it's intercol or something to go and embarrass himself too. Because when it's at PBC Sports, don't go and run old boys race. Because after we see what the cricket thing did, don't go and shame yourself. Because if that is pursuing it vigorously, what your government is doing now, well, I beg to differ.
Given the appropriate incentives, the appropriate motivation and encouragement, that our private sector, including our fishermen themselves, will see the need to take part in this venture. And I just want to make it clear, when we propose these things, we are not saying that all of it will be done by the government. Many of it, in fact, would require private sector involvement, sometimes exclusively. But as the government, our job, in fact, is to provide the enabling environment.
Which is what the NNP did by creating the enabling environment by ensuring that the cost of electricity. I never go to business school, I never do business science in school, nothing. But I understand at least a basic concept. If you're setting up a business, one of the main things that you must do is you must have areas to transport, you must have power to power the business and so on. So there are certain things that you must have. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night, Sheldon.
Hey, sir.
Hi, how you doing?
I sweated.
All right, send some sun for me up here. Send some sun for me up here.
No, just days now I'm fighting off that cold in the days, you know.
All right, man. Drink some bush, man. Drink some bush and take a good sea bath.
It ain't knocked me down yet, but I could feel it.
All right, man. All right, just take care of it. Take care of it and take care of yourself. Anyway, question I want to ask you. Is Mr. Brian McQueen a move over to the new movement?
Mr. Brian McQueen got to answer that. I wouldn't know.
Because I saw it on Facebook saying that he's no longer with the NNP, he's with the movement, and he's saying now.
Let me explain. Hold on. No, caller, hold on. Let me explain something to you here, because you get catching a trap, and I want to teach you not to get catching that trap again. Prior to the 2013 election, when a certain group of individuals were about to leave or be put out from the NDC, what did you see happening? You saw them one by one.
I was in Grenada, I don't know.
No.
I was in Grenada, I don't know.
You should have been paying attention to what was going on in Grenada. You had a drip resignation by these individuals leaving the NDC. And what it created was the image of the NDC as a fractured, as a broken, and as a disorganized organization. So you had this minister resign this week, and everybody wondering who going again, and then about a month later, you see that minister resign. And it was a strategy to damage the organization that they came out from, so that either A, the organization, being so weakened, would come to them cap in hand and beg them to come back, or another organization would ask them to come on board. That was the strategy then. That is the strategy now. Remember, just about a year or so ago, you had people that were saying, oh, they're leaving the NNP, and so when you check, it had people that said they're leaving the NNP who never attended a meeting since the election was lost in 2022, who never came to a single function, who have not been active. You had these people leaving because they had already left. They wasn't doing anything for NNP. They wasn't coming around NNP. They were following who they believe was the person that they wanted to be in charge of the party. And as little children, when you lose a cricket match or you get out, you take your bat, you put it under your arm and you go home. Nobody else can play cricket. So that is what is taking place. So when you see the things about Brother Brian, and I love Brother Brian, he's my good partner. I have no problem with him. But it is the strategy. You see they put out things, and I'm not going to call names because I'm not going to help them to spread their propaganda, which is what you just called and did. You take my program and help them to spread their propaganda. So let me just say it here so that you know what you did, because you didn't realize is that you're doing. So I'm telling you now, that is what you do. So other people will know not to do it again. So what they are doing is trying to give the impression that everybody leaving NNP. But I've seen them talking about people who haven't been to an executive meeting at the NNP in 4 years, even before the election. I'm seeing them speaking about people who have not been on a platform for the NNP in over 4 years. They're talking about some people who have not even been to an NNP function, an NNP meeting in years. And then these people, they're putting them for this person leave and that person leave. The same strategy of 2012 is the same strategy they're trying to employ in 2025, 2026. See it for what it is, because the end game is for somebody to come and say, okay, we want you to come here. The ruling party, or they feel maybe NNP would come and tell them, oh gosh, no, these people getting some vibes, you know, come over here and so on. That is the aim and that is the objective. And it is being done. Why do you think this is coming out now? Why do you think that came out this week with Brian? Why do you feel that came out this week? Let me see if you properly think this thing through.
I don't know.
Wait a minute, you don't know?
I'm just going to Facebook.
Listen, hold on.
I just going to Facebook and I saw it, so I just read it out. I said, oh, Mr. Brand doing that?
No, hold on. One of the things that we ask people to do on Talking Points is to think. And think critically. Yeah, always I'll call name Ralston Adams. That was one of the people who taught me to think critically. So you realize that came out the day before NNP have a function in St. David?
Yeah.
So
I realized that for sure.
You realize that was to create an effect to affect NNP's function in St. David. It failed because you saw the function was more than a success. In fact, the place was too small. But
I saw it live, yeah.
The intention was to dampen anything that NNP had in St. David last night, with people saying, well, people abandoned, if the man gone, people abandoning the NNP and people gone and so on. See it for what it is. And we as NNPites, let me speak to NNPites here in total. We as NNPites must be more wise and stop helping these people by spreading their thing for them. We must stop calling the programs and helping them put their thing on the programs. We must stop taking it on Facebook and sharing it and taking it on WhatsApp and spreading it all over the place. We helping them in their endeavor. They are like a virus. And that virus is being spread by the NNPites when they take it from where they get it and they spread it. We have to stop that. We have to take a shot of whatever medication and deal with that virus. Yeah.
All right, my brother. I get it. Yeah.
I just had to say that. And I had that down to speak about it tonight. You just have to raise
well, it's
it.
a good thing I bring to it.
Yeah, you just have to raise it. But I had it down to speak about it tonight. All right, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Take care, man. Good.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's quite obvious what they're doing. And I mean, I've been involved in politics for over the last 20 years. No, this would be about 25. Yeah, about 25 years. I've been involved in politics. I've been involved in media, public relations, and so on for the last roughly 30 years. I've been involved in that. I know the play. So I can see exactly what's taking place. NNP is having their NNP Connect last night. They need to give the impression that NNP in St. David is done. NNP in St. David in problems. So they released that the day before NNP have their function in St. David. Understand the strategy of these individuals, but also understand, we're going back to fishing. Understand as well that those who are within that organization right now, the door still open, you know. The door ain't closed on all you because you know the NNP is loving the house. So the door is still open. So when you're ready to come back, because we know some of all you, we understand why all you're doing and where all you go. We understand that. We love you all still. We have nothing against you all. You are our brothers. You are our sisters. We love you all still. Yeah? But just like the prodigal son, the time will come when you have to come home. Because you all know that the only thing you are doing is that you are helping the present administration. And at some level, I believe there's an organized effort between that organization and the ruling party to keep the ruling party in office. So it is to try as much as possible and damage the new national party. Yeah? So while the new national party is going about doing what it is doing, you have these two organizations at the same time trying to destroy the new national party. And I mean, there's people like me, you can't try to pull them kind of trick and feel that we ain't seen what you're doing. That you go put out that just before NNP have a meeting. Well, I could tell you he wasn't missed last night because the amount of people that I saw there last night, he was not missed. Yeah? He's our brother. We still love him. We still care about him. If anything, we still run in to try and help him. Yeah? It's still our brother. But not because it's our brother, mean we go allow you to do whatever you want to do to us. You all saw it. You had a bunch of people, some of them people and them eyeing NNP 20 something years, and some of the people are here talking about this one resign. Who they talking about there? Who? Resign from where? And I've been to every nook and cranny in this country. Every nook and cranny. On all 3 islands. And sometimes you hear to talk about this person. Who? What? That person was a who? Some people became NNP after 2013. No problem with that. Some people became NNP tonight. Nothing is wrong with that. You become NNP whenever you want to become NNP. And we also have a constitutional right, and forget the constitution, even God-given right, to support whichever political organization we want to support. But we also have the right to show them tricks for what they are. And that is trick. So the same trickle resignation, this one gone, that one gone, we hear this one gone, that led to the expelling of just a group of people afterwards. All of that is what they are attempting now again. They found it worked against the then ruling party, and they're trying to use it now against the opposition party, which is why I continue to say, to those of you within earshot of what I'm saying tonight, don't take God out of your thoughts and go in the polling station election day and make the mistake to think that any of the candidates being put up by that organization could win any seat. All you are doing is ensuring that the NDC remains in office. The only way to ensure that we have competent people, yeah? The only way that we can ensure that we have competent people to take care of the crisis, especially in the world that we are in right now. We are in a world where right now we have boats going out in our waters, in Caribbean waters here in the OECS, and drone passing and blow them up. Right now, that is what we're facing in the Caribbean right now. Grenada could soon be facing a similar situation to what St. Lucia got today. St. Lucia today was hit with a visa to enter the UK. Notice I'm not speaking about the electronic thing that you have to do and get approval to enter the UK. That is something different. Grenada has to do it. Most other countries have to do it right now. They need to get, before you travel to the UK, you have to apply online for clearance to enter the UK. That is one thing. Right now, St. Lucia has been hit that they have to get a visa. The same way you need a visa to go into the States or to go to Canada. St. Lucians now need a visa to go into the United Kingdom. Something they never had. I traveled with many of my friends from St. Lucia to the UK before on numerous occasions. So they did not get no visa. But you know why they have to get a visa now? Because in the background, they're saying that people are using the St. Lucian passport to enter the UK and then seek asylum. And who are those people that you feel using the St. Lucian passport to enter the UK and then seek asylum? You think it's born and bred Creole speaking St. Lucians? It's not them, Gasa. It is other people who are getting it through CBI. So when you have a prime minister in Grenada that say he operating like Biden, he using auto pen to just sign 150 documents without reading through them. When the British hear that, you ain't know is the same thing coming for us? You ain't know is a visa that was slapped on Grenada when they hearing these kind of nonsense taking place too? Because I'm absolutely sure that that is the same situation now. Remember the amount of Russians and other people that came in under CBI, under this administration. The amount of people that were brought in. CBI is not a bad thing. And let me repeat it. CBI is not a bad thing. Let me say it a third time. CBI is not a bad thing. But if it is managed by incompetent people like the present Prime Minister, who admit on national television that he basically using auto pen to sign citizenship certificates for people to become Grenadian, people who could then come and vote in Grenada, people who could take a Grenada passport and try to get a US visa and go in the US and do all kind of thing, people who could take a Grenadian passport and go in England and do all kind of thing. He is saying that he is reading through the list to make sure that the people there are the people that should be there. Because I don't trust the people that he have around him. And I don't trust he. So two set of trust, I don't trust. Yeah? If I had a shop and they come, I don't trust. That's a pay. You understand? I don't trust. And he's admitting that he basically auto-penning these things. An important thing like that. You're telling me as Prime Minister of the country, you can't take the time to go through 150 documents to make sure that the people that you are giving citizenship are the correct people. You don't even have time for that, dread. Something as important as citizenship, you don't even have time for that. My goodness. And then we go say everything okay? No. So folks, be on your guard. Don't get sucked into this thing by these people by helping them spread their propaganda. I ain't saying you can't ask questions about it and so, but we have to understand the game that they're playing. Like a mosquito that's carry yellow fever and them kind of thing, and malaria and so, yeah, let's stick with the yellow fever, yeah. And chikungunya, which by the way, they found chikungunya next door in St. Vincent, huh? So those of us that might be having the high temperatures and the body aches like I having right now, yeah, it could be that it is chikungunya. We have not heard again. You have a proper chief medical officer. He's a brilliant guy. But if the people above him are idiots, then what is happening would happen. If there's chikungunya in Grenada, we don't know. And then remember, while there's a chikungunya outbreak in St. Vincent, for nearly 2 weeks, the vector control people here in Grenada sit down, not going out and spray. Because they was not getting the money. I hear like they get the money now. I hear not on that again like they get the money. We talk enough so they get the money now. Because you know we just have to talk. If we ain't talk, nothing happen. So like they get the money now. Right? But while they were sitting down and mosquitoes were multiplying into the billions all over the island, chikungunya has been found in St. Vincent. And we know if it is found in St. Vincent, it's only a matter of time before it arrives here in Grenada. Yeah? I had chick-V before, believe me. That is one oh God. I had Zika, I had chick-V. I ain't interested in none of them again now, believe me. That is two things that I ain't interested in ever seeing in life again. Yeah? But it is active right now within our neck of the woods. Yeah? It is active in our neck of the woods right about now.
Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? not even things created by the great Jehovah.
1473-440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah, you hear them? Fisheries processing plant. They go do fisheries processing plant and all them kind of thing. Yeah, man. All kind of nice talk. All kind of nice talk.
For fishing, that the average age of fishermen is at the age where we run the risk of fishermen and fisherwomen being extinct because we do not have sufficient young people fishing. But I always ask myself this question. If I wanted to be a fisherman in Grenada, who's going to teach me to become a fisherman? Well, you may have to go and call him. There is no school, there is no training facility, there is no place in Grenada where, unless your parents or your grandparents or some family friend happen to be in the fishing industry, that you can learn to fish, not even as a hobby. So if fishing is important and it's an industry and there is no formal or informal process by which you teach young men and women how to fish.
And we all know you're talking nonsense because the majority of people that we see in fishing right now is young people. They knew all these solutions for fishing. And as soon as they came in, they paid no attention to the fishing industry. None. So that's why we ended up with the problem we ended up with in it. Yeah, that is why we ended up with that particular problem.
For agriculture.
Oh, no, that's not it. Let me make sure. That's what has happened when your things ain't labeled there. Yeah.
National budget will be realigned to ensure that, as I've said publicly, the national budget will be realigned to ensure that the budgetary allocation for agriculture and fishing reflects the importance of agriculture, agro-processing, fishing, fish processing, and or food security as a top priority of the National Democratic Congress.
Folks, just remember, these are the same individuals that cut that budget by $30 million in the large budget cycle. $30 million, they cut it. So if they're going to realign the budget, let me say again.
The national budget will be realigned to ensure that the budgetary allocation for agriculture and fishing reflects the importance of agriculture, agro-processing, fishing, fish processing, and or food security as a top priority of the National Democratic Congress.
Yeah, if there is a top priority and you cut you cut 30 million and plus you allow the fishermen and them to lose the market, then something up. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you?
Well, how come I just hearing from you? I see you calling long. What's up, Miguel?
Ade, Sheldon.
Yes, ma'am.
I would be glad if they get the export markets.
Everybody would be glad.
But Sheldon, the export man who is the first buyer, he was not in the meeting, the conference. That Mr. Alex Swan, he was not there.
Mm-hmm.
So how they go get that fish to go to Guyana and whatever? So I'll take my bundle of fish, send to Guyana, and I don't know how much money I get it. How I get my money?
Well, they said they're working on things like transport and storage and volume of fish that's going to be taken. I hope they know they also have to work on grade of fish, because when you're selling fish on the international market, you have different grades. So you have the grade for that they would use for sushi and those kind of things.
Well, it's only number one fish and number two fish they go be buying.
Yeah.
So all the reject, we have to get it. But when I'm saying, Sheldon, every 2 weeks they're taking that fish, you know. Sheldon, he has so much about fishing. 2 trawlers alone bring 20,000 pounds of fish. So what about the small boats and then the smaller fishes? What will happen to them? Small boats. So it's big fish are eating, then small fish are eating our food.
Well, they have been speaking about sea moss and other types of fish outside of tuna. Instead of calling it bycatch, that they would start utilizing a lot of the what was otherwise called bycatch. They would utilize that as well. So let's see how
Yes,
that
I'm
works out.
telling you. We have another small boat doing long line tuna.
And one of the strangest things from the press conference, my friend, is that they were asked the question, and Cathy said, make sure to tell Maureen good night. Good night. So
Good night.
one of the things that I heard them say when they were asking them about the different types of fish that they catch or bycatch and the information on that, the person who asked the question was unable to get an answer to that question at the press conference, which surprised me. Hold on, that you know why that surprised me? That surprised me because that is one of the things that the US is asking for information on to remove the fishing ban. What type of bycatch you're getting and what you're doing with it and so on. That's information that the US needs. So if they at the press conference there could not give that information, what information they give to the US?
That is it. That is it. Because bycatch is oceanga, marlin, my, we just call it the dolphin. We just say you can't hold it because it's like say, oh, the dolphin now is a fish which have fins and scales. That's bycatch. You understand? The kingfish is bycatch, the swordfish is bycatch. All that is bycatch. And when you grade the first grade tuna, the second grade and the third grade, they're not buying it because they call it reject. You understand? All that is bycatch.
It's going to be.
So I don't know how to do this thing.
Well, I think that it's good to see that the fishermen themselves from Petit Martinique, etc., they are involved in the process. I do hope that they get through with it. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, hope that they get through with it. And that because I know that the fishermen need that help.
But I need the help too because I just ship my fish to Labe Market and I wish I fancy I can ship fish again too. You know, I just ship my fish to Labe Market.
Wow.
And I can't get the shipment.
Oh boy,
because they ban the fish.
Yeah, that is off for you now. And one of the
so
things...
it affected me as normal too. It affected me too. You understand? So I say I hope that I don't want they say words by mouth of more jump out, you know. And I hear the Prime Minister talking about fishing thing. What do you know about fishing? You ever go and take a boat to go out there to a line?
I don't know nothing about it because I
want Grenada to open their eyes, you know, because these people are them promises and they don't fulfill what they say. Because the election closed, they say, I can't give me coming up with that kind of nice stuff. Oh, they're going to do that. They're going to do processing and that, and they're going to do processing and that. Hell knows. Well, I hope it comes true, so other people could benefit from it, job could create, so I hope things work out in the way it should.
Yeah. All right, my dear. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. Wonderful. Yes, indeed, folks. 1-473-440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. Yeah? That is the number to call, man. Yeah.
I'll perhaps give my colleagues the opportunity to speak on that. I just want to make the point, though, that I think the question of agro-processing and fish processing is integral to the question of creating job opportunities for people in St. Andrew. Because if you don't have commercial activity taking place in St. Andrew, everyone is going to be forced to go into town. And that is part of the challenge that has happened in Grenada, particularly since Hurricane Ivan. In the last 18 years, an entire generation, the government has behaved as if the only thing that matters is St. George's. And specifically the south of the island. I'm not taking anything away from our dear friend Andy.
But let me ask the question now. What have they done? What change? What projects have they brought to St. Andrew except the unemployment project? Except the victimization project? Except taking explosives and bringing it up and nearly killing the people at Telescope? What project have they brought to St. Andrew Telescope? People, that's the project they give all you, you know. They take explosives that could have gone off at any point in time. They drive it through your community with you, your children, your wife, your husband, with your grandmother, your mother, your father, your grandfather, your auntie that you love so much, they drive past all your schools with all your children. They drive past all your churches, all your shop where all your lime in, all your playing field. They drive the explosives up between all you and bring it down there where it went off like that and could have killed how much people in update. That's the project that they bring to deal with unemployment update, because they would have unalive a set of people, and that is how they would have deal with the unemployment program, because you can't work if you're dead. That is how they would have deal with it. Yeah? It was a set of nice talk before election. But what is the reality? What have they actually done? Or what have they attempted to do? Nothing. Not a thing. Nice talk, nice talk, nice talk. When you hear the NNP tells you something, even if you're in seat within the 5 years, you see the foundation of it being laid. So you know, okay, NNP did this. They deal with Grenada. And the reason they deal with Grenada is so that you could get agro-processing, you could get fish processing, you could get expanded business operations in other areas taking place in Grenada, because the cost of electricity has gone down to make it feasible not just for locals, but for people who might be outside of Grenada and want to come in and set up a business. Yeah? You get that as well. I think we have a caller online. Let me go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Hey, good night. How are you doing?
Hey, not bad. Good night, Mr. Sheldon. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm
good
fine,
night
man.
to each and everyone. Good night to each and everyone. Love once again. I just want to take a little time off Mr. Sheldon, coming from, Tito Promotion, Paradise, Chocolate City, Cocoa, the whole, area. I just called to, big up. Can't stop, and I will never stop bigging up Miss Skita Lewis for so much a wonderful job that she did. Like I was wondering last week or this week where she put up that solar light, which is a project that we start on the airport with the old planes and them day. We borrowed the which was NMP Kate Lewis, because this thing was abandoned for the longest time. All those years the plane was just there. Anybody could have just run in and run out like the well one. No seat, not knowing the tourists and the people. And that is the person who come and make and draw that plan and borrow that place. So we was asking for some light. But what I realized with this administration now, any project that we work for the work to finish, to complete, like they don't study us at all in that constituency up here. So my minister, Miss Skita Louis, she's so sweet, and she's so nice that she realized, and she sit down and she look at, because we ain't there in office, but we trying our best, you understand, to do what we have to do for the people in that constituency, which are Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Matou. Because everybody from St. George's and they decide to come up in a race, a car racing on the airport and pause their strip, leaving from Simon, from the bridge to come across. You understand? You can't know well if you have a facilities there for a tourist attraction, because you see enough of tourists on that side, enough of strange people from all different countries, because they hearing about the planes and them over there. And if you're passing in the night before, you couldn't see at all. But now, I could bet any money now, that present time now, you leave Paul's Bridge and you go into the airport by the SSU camp, you will see that place light up marvelously. And that person who say they running for minister, them living close to that place. You understand? And Kate Skita Lou is living so far, and look, she come and she light up that place. So NNP and the whole of Grenada and Carriacou and Petit Matou, let me just watch and see who love us and who want to do things for us. And the next one before I go again, the people in Simon, in Baghdad, complaining. Majority of the people complaining with the bathroom, the facilities is cheap. One of the cheapest facilities they take and put up in the bathroom. Not in the bathroom, the tile is the face basin, and people crying out down there, and they asking that if the person who are in charge, who did send to do this quick work, and they look for the most cheapest product, the most cheapest stylist bowl and whatsoever, and sending the people. I'm not lying. That what I'm saying now, people are crying out with the work that they put on in Simon. So they we asking the people whosoever know they in control and they in charge to please look at, because Baghdad is a place, is a constituency too. right? So we're asking the person who know that they put up the toilet bowl and they send one of the cheapest toilet bowl give the people, and in that area they asking the people please, because water coming back up inside, it wetting up the place, leaking up the place, or toilet bowl and things shaking. So I Tito come out personal because I live in around here, and I asking the people who in charge please. And Miss Kate, I want to say thanks very much for lighting up. So now you could pass and you could see that plane, and then at the airport you could see that the tourist people, whosoever not tourists alone want us come and look at it. So we want to say thanks very much, and continue being there for us, and we will always be there for us. And remember Tito and the whole people of him in Paradise, Coco, and the whole surrounding area. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheldon. Have a good night. May God be with you. May God be with Grenada.
Good night, my brother. Thank you so very much. Yes, indeed, folks. That's our good friend Tito. Yeah, they're giving his views. Folks, before I end tonight's program, and it's going to take me a little past 10 o'clock, I'm sorry for the husbands that waiting for the wife to come to bed, and I'm sorry for the wives that waiting for their husbands to go to bed, because it's going to take me a little after 10, to not much after 10, but a little after 10, to deal with this particular one. This afternoon, I saw an article while I was scrolling through. Yeah. This afternoon, I saw an article when I was scrolling through social media on Jamaica has now ended their, they have ended their association with the Cuban medical program. Yeah? I saw an article in relation to that on the Jamaica Gleaner just today. Yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah, I can. So let me get it here. Right, yeah. So Jamaica, they are no longer going to have the Cuban medical program. They've had it for 50 years. Yeah, 50 years. So they've had this since 1976. They've had this for 50 years. And they are discontinuing the Cuban medical program. They say it is not because of any pressure from the United States and so on. They say it's not very right, but you know what I mean. They say you understand, but they're saying it's not because of any pressure. That they just couldn't come to an agreement, and due to that, they finish it. But Jamaica is not alone. They are not the only ones that have ended their association with the Cuban medical program. Yeah, you have the same situation over in Antigua. And remember, Prime Minister Brown there, he was saying, no, we ain't giving up that thing. And they have ended their Cuban medical partnership as well. So the Cuban Medical Brigade that was out there in Antigua, they should be back home by now, or back on their way home. So that is over for them. But they're not alone. Guyana, yeah? Guyana says they weren't pressured, but that they're sending the Cubans home as well. They are not going to be having the Cubans in their healthcare system. Yeah? But it's not Guyana alone. You also have, yeah, Honduras. They are also leaving Honduras as well. The Honduran government has discontinued their association with the Cuban Medical Brigade, and not them alone. Guatemala, a 30-year Cuban medical program under U.S. pressure has ended in Guatemala. So they are heading home from Guatemala, the doctors, the nurses, the technicians, and so on. And we have to ask ourselves the question, what is going to take place with us? This is a serious situation, you know. And at this point in time, you fire in PS and all kind of nonsense. We hear you changing ministers. Well, we hear that's what going on. Is a ministerial shuffle coming. So we hearing these things. But this is a dangerous time. Grenada's healthcare system, if all the Cubans decide they're leaving, or if they are sent out, the Grenadian healthcare system will collapse. That's a fact. It will collapse without the Cubans in it at this point in time. The Prime Minister of Grenada has gone to Ghana and Nigeria and so on without telling us that the same move that we've seen Jamaica, Antigua, Guyana, Honduras and Guatemala make, that Grenada more than likely is heading in the same direction. And they can speak about, oh, it wasn't under any pressure as much as possible. But if you've been following the US Embassy Barbados, you would realize that they have been posting stuff like this. Yeah? They have been posting stuff like this. Whether you agree with it or not, this is what has been posted by the US Embassy in Bridgetown, Barbados on the 6th of February, the day before Grenadian independence. That is one warning countries about having the Cuban Medical Brigade. On the 13th of January, they did the same thing again, warning governments about the Cuban Medical Brigades. On the 20th of January, they did it again, warning governments in the region about the Cuban Medical Brigade. Yeah? And on the 15th of January, they did it. So it is not a situation where we don't know for a fact that the Grenadian government is under pressure by the United States to end that program. We know that for a fact. What we also know for a fact is that these individuals who are currently in charge of our country, that those individuals are not being honest with us, not being honest and speaking to us and telling us what is the true reality, that they, sooner rather than later, may have to end, or definitely will have to end, our engagement with the Cuban Medical Brigade. That's not talking about the Cubans who in private sector, working at different private institutions and so on, or have their own place. No, not those. But those that have been engaged by the government of Grenada, they will have to go. So it was strange enough, I saw that. And then tonight I saw a story on GBN. Strange enough, GBN ain't touching that story on Lotto at all, boy, they're afraid. GBN has become the frightened network. They're afraid to touch any controversial story involving government. Government is a minority shareholder, but the whole of GBN, they're afraid right now. Yeah? And you can't get them wrong. The people have their job to do. And if they would take away the bread, yeah, if they would decide no government entity can advertise with them like they do in Android on all up there, and they try to pressure them. So you realize no kind of news on anything like that does ever find itself on GBN. And it's not like they don't have competent people. Those young people are brilliant that they have there. And they have some of the older reporters like Chrislina and so on. Excellent. But if they are not allowed to do their job without an axe hanging over their heads, that's the kind of thing you go have happening. Not a negative story in relation to the government coming out. None. Yeah? Well, let me hear what I said tonight in relation to healthcare.
Taken decisive steps to address Grenada's shortage of healthcare professionals. Shania McIntosh has more.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell has announced that Grenada will accept healthcare workers from anywhere in the world once they meet the professional standards required to practice locally and are proficient in English. He explained that while the country continues to face a deficit in healthcare personnel, the government is actively working to fill the gap by broadening recruitment efforts and strengthening local training opportunities. A key part of that strategy, he said, is tapping into the diaspora. The Prime Minister noted that government is encouraging qualified Grenadians living abroad to return home and contribute their skills and expertise to the nation's healthcare system.
The other things we are doing, we are certainly increasing the amount of scholarships that are available for persons who wish to pursue nursing, doctors, etc.
In addition to overseas recruitment, government is also expanding access to medical education. He revealed that as recently as January 2026, 30 first-degree medical scholarships were awarded through St. George's University. The scholarships are intended to increase the number of locally trained doctors in the years ahead. The Prime Minister further disclosed that discussions are currently underway to re-establish a nursing school in Grenada. This could be done in collaboration with the St. George's University or as a stand-alone institution aimed at boosting the training and certification of nurses locally. He emphasized that strengthening the healthcare workforce workforce remains a top priority for his administration as government works to ensure that citizens have greater access to quality medical care. Reporting for GBN News, Shania McIntosh.
These people simply preparing you for what they're about to do because they can't avoid it. They are preparing you for the Cubans going home. That's what's taking place, you know. And just now you're going to see, because some have arrived already, I hear from Ghana, that already some medical personnel from Ghana and Nigeria that have arrived in Grenada. So pretty soon, sooner rather than later, do not be surprised. Just remember, we're being honest with you and we're telling you what is going to happen, is that they are going to discontinue. So you hear from Jamaica, you've heard from Antigua, you heard from Guyana, yeah? So you know that Grenada will be joining that list sooner rather than later. There are many people who believe that Grenada should take a principled stand in relation to that issue. There are other people who have other beliefs in relation to the issue. It's not my thing to come here and say what should or should not happen. All I am doing tonight is telling you, this is what has happened in the region, and look out because it come in our direction. Yeah, look out because it come in our direction. And somebody has messaged me. They said not all of the vector control people have been paid, only some have been paid. So there's still an issue out there. Meanwhile, I'm a window, man, all kind of moth flying in every 2 minutes and so. And vector control people can't pass wrong, you know. Moth and mosquito only flying in on me there. Yeah. So folks, that is all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. Yes, we will be on tomorrow night, God's willing, with Talking Points for you. And it's always a pleasure being here with you in whatever you say and do. Do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to you and I want to be speaking with you. And I definitely do not want to be speaking only about you. Yeah? How you did it so that we could have a conversation. Yeah? That is what I want. Nice? So folks, that is all the time we have for tonight. I am out.
Fun-filled Easter egg hunt on Saturday, March 28, 2026 at Aubrey's Supermarket, Westerhall Point Gap. Starting time 12 noon. Kids will love the exciting egg hunt, games, musical chairs, face painting, and sweet treats. Plus, the chance to find golden eggs with cash prizes inside. The egg hunt is just $10, so bring the entire family out for an afternoon of kids fun, laughter, and Easter excitement. For more information, call 473-406-1322, 473-449-0369. It's the Easter egg hunt on Saturday, March 28, 2026 at Aubrey's Supermarket, Westerhall Point Gap, 12 noon. Be there.
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500, and our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visually, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
So it's the Caribbean vibes, John. DG started stop corruption. But